On this week's episode, I broke a dog's leg in the clinic, but for good reason, and here is why. Hey buddy. Alright guys, meet Canella, the dog whose leg I broke. Actually, not really, the leg was already broken, but I had to re-break it. The dog broke its leg 4 months ago, and back then it was taken to a clinic in Dubai where they had tried to fix the leg using a plate and screws. Fair enough, a commonly used technique in these types of fractures, but unfortunately in this case, that technique did not work. The plate they used and the screws they used were probably a little bit oversized, and they were locking screws as well. The locking screws, they lock into the plate and they form some kind of a cage structure, taking over all of the load that is supposed to go through the bones. And when the bones don't experience load, very similar to muscles that aren't being used, the bone will kind of waste away. The bones need the load in order to heal normally, without load, without a signal going to the body, telling the body that there is an instability, telling the body that there is something broken. The body doesn't really try to heal it. So the body needs to know that something is broken. And when you overstabilize it and the pieces just don't move at all, the body isn't aware of the fact that there is an active fracture and doesn't really bother healing it. Alright guys, I know this looks a little bit scary, but we're just inserting the breathing tube for the anesthesia so we can provide anesthetic and oxygen to the animal during surgery. Poor Canella's parents have been really patient and unlucky with this case, and they've left it for 4 months in a desperate attempt to give it time to heal, but the body has just given up and is not trying to fix the fracture anymore. Partially also because of the slight misalignment that is there, but mostly because the plate is just too big. The owners got, understandably so, very frustrated with the whole case, and they got a second, third and fourth opinion. A whole bunch of different advices, from clinics suggesting putting a different plate, clinics suggesting to just amputate, clinics suggesting to just leave it. And I basically recommended these people to remove the plate and to put something that doesn't over-stabilize the way that this plate does. So the plan here is to remove the plate, remove the screws, reposition the broken pieces so that they are nicely opposed, and then insert a much smaller pin, allowing the forces to go through the bone and reactivating the fracture. So during the surgery, I will re-break the leg and activate the fracture site. That means scrape off the edges so that they become slightly damaged again, and that will give a signal to the body to start healing again. Surgeries like this are always really frustrating while you're doing them, but then when in the end everything just falls into place, the feeling is absolutely amazing. So after the surgery, we placed the fracture in a bandage with a splint, because the pin that we put inside is actually relatively small. Here we can see the plate that has been removed from the surgery, and that has now been replaced with the tiny pin. So there's a lot of cotton that goes on to protect the skin from the pressure when we place the bandage, and then we use a plastic splint that goes over the cotton, and this will give the second support to the fracture site to make sure that the leg stays nice and straight during the healing process. It's all wrapped up nicely, and these bandages will then be changed quite regularly. Here we can see the post-op result, yeah, with the pin in place and the pieces much closer together and properly aligned. Yeah, there's still a small gap, and you can see all the gaps from where the screws used to be. But yeah, hopefully, with not overstabilizing the fracture anymore, it will heal.
Are you still waking up?
As you can see, she woke up fine and she went home in the evening, and we're just waiting for her to come back for her bandage change in 5 days. Yalla, let's go kiting! Alright guys, this is what I really enjoy doing in my free time. I am a very passionate kite surfer, and for those not familiar with the concept of kite surfing, it's a somewhat extreme sport where we take a big flying kite that drags us through the water on a surfboard. And despite the extreme heat and the low wind, Dubai is actually a really good place to be a kite surfer. I do what is foil kiting, which allows me to kite in much lighter wind, and that is perfect for the Dubai conditions. Alright, here you can see me setting up my watch. This allows me to track my kite surfing. I will see where I went and even how high I jumped, and I will show you some of my jumps later on, which is a really cool feature on the watch. So the setting up is a little bit of work, especially in the heat, yeah, to roll out the lines, roll out the kite, and then attach it to the harness. Luckily in kite surfing we have a harness which takes on all the forces coming from the kite, pulling you through the water. So no, you do not have to hang on to the kite with your arms, otherwise you would be absolutely exhausted within 2 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, kite is up, and here we go. We take the somewhat weird looking board and go in the almost boiling water. I can tell you guys, after half an hour I was absolutely destroyed. I think it was 45 degrees. Looks cool on the video, but half an hour was more than enough. Here you can see me taking off and the first jump. I think that looks amazing.
This is so good. Burj Khalifa, the background, Jumeirah Beach. Wind is perfect. Happy f***ing days. It's Thursday. Everybody else is working, and we are enjoying the good life. Welcome to Dubai. Welcome to my vlog. Welcome to life. Ah, come on. Woo!
Alright, here you can see my recorded jumps with the highest jump of 8.6 meters for the day. Not too shabby. Oh, that's it for today. Time to go home. By this time I was pretty warm and glad to get off the water. Here you can see me wrapping up the lines. Packing up the kite is probably my least favorite part of the sport, especially because you're tired and warm and you just want to go home. The kite has air that goes inside, and here I open the valve, release the air, detach the bar, fold over, and start rolling the kite. This kite is what we call a ram air kite, which is a specific light wind kite, which performs really, really well in light to marginal winds. Very different from the more commonly used tube kites. They are a little bit harder to fly, but they perform much better in really low wind. You can see all the lines, they look like a big spaghetti, but if you pack them properly, you shouldn't have any issues next time when you want to go out again. So fold it nicely, and that's a wrap, ready to go home.
Are you back?
She's a very happy dog, considering she's just had surgery.
Yeah?
Very cheerful at home.
Alright, want to thank you guys for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and see you next week for another interesting story.